Hello. I want to showcase a build I've been tinkering around with on my single player files. Um, this is all solo self-found gear over the course of many seasons. So full disclosure, some of the items are newer, others are legacy. But this is season 10 Inferno Sorceress. The build is pretty simple. It's Inferno plus the synergies Blaze and Firewall. Blaze is cool. It was supposed to have phasing this season and ended up getting dropped because it didn't work. I think the build could be really cool if the phasing kicked in, but gives some massive fast run walk benefit. If you remember to cast it, sometimes I forget. Um, Point into warmth, max fire mastery, lightning, 1 point into teleport, and then max energy shield. Nothing into cold for this build. This is a full energy shield build, so it's strength for gear, nothing into dexterity, nothing into vitality, everything into energy. Um, and centers around basically boosting up as much mana as possible, and as much mana per kill as possible to keep the effective life pool boosted. Because this is a fire build, um, the energy shield is before, I think after battle orders buff gets up to 81%. So you want to use a memory staff to boost the energy shield more. I'll just demo that real quick. When we're buffed, if I'm going to cast energy shield right now, absorbs 81%. We swap to the memory staff for it. It goes up to 90%. So a huge difference there. So it is worth doing the one item swap there. I'm usually not a huge snapshotter, but that's a simple one that's worth it. And then I just dump it into the last page of my stash there um, to get ready to go. It's pretty straightforward. The gear that I'm using is the Skull Collector. This is from season 9, so it has lower level bone armor but higher chance to cast. The new version is 2% chance to cast level 25, so big difference there. I'm still using this one. I did test it with a new one and it still works just fine, but I'm using this legacy one because it's got the all skill slam. It unfortunately only puzzle boxed for 2 sockets, so I'm using um, all resistance jewels in there instead of facets, just to open up slots elsewhere for other gear. One of the jewels does have that plus energy on it, which every point of energy gets 3 absorbed from the bone armor. So Skull Collector with the massive mana per kill and the bone armor cast and the increased maximum mana, it's really just it's designed for energy shield. It works really, really well. The gloves are Frostburn. We got ones with Max Fire Pierce and MF Slam. We're doing a farming competition on the single player pluggy crew right now. So trying to stack as much Magic Find as possible. Stone of Jordan for skills, more mana, and mana per kill on this one. Another SOJ with faster cast rate. Um, Arachnid Mesh, 20 cast rate, a little bit of replenish life. Was this? I didn't need any resistance in this slot, and I have enough FCR already. So even though I have a couple better ones, I'm using this one just to get a little bit of replenish life. The boots are Silk Weave, more mana, mana per kill. So it's all of these slots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots, all have increased maximum mana on them to get to a pretty high level, 2,500 mana when buffed. The armor is stone. I think stone is probably the most underrated item in the game. It's got skills, it's got massive faster hit recovery, stats, it's got all res, and you probably noticed I have a clay golem. Which one extra thing for enemies to target that isn't me is good, and the charge replenishes, so I just keep it on quick cast. He dies because he's only level 16 and you don't have mastery, but it is a distraction to present in front of enemies. The helmet is a Kira, all skill slam with 2 fire facets in it. Source of cannot be frozen. And a cool combination of stone plus Kira is you've got 80 faster hit recovery between those 2 items. So you only need one skiller with faster hit recovery to hit that 86 breakpoint, which is, again, I think underrated for a sorceress. This is a very tanky build considering it only has 700 something life. The amulet is a one skill slam, just plain fire skill. There's room for improvement here, and Lucian is not active in single player yet, but I will plan to most likely desecrate this one when we can. The swap is just a call to arms and a lidless. The inventory, the one FHR skiller, and then other fire skillers, faster run, walk, life, another little life, mostly plain because these are all self-found. Life and mana small charm. I think the rest are resistances. Um, we've got one legacy, 4% fire charm. We're using the experience Annie. We're using a 4819 torch and then a Geed item. So 166 magic find before going into the maps. Got the 105 cast rate breakpoint. Inferno is a channeling skill, so the FCR doesn't really matter that much, but 105 I think is comfortable for teleporting around. And then yeah, Mastery and Pierce for the fire are pretty massive. Max resistances are all balanced at literally exactly 75 on everything. No physical damage reduction on this build, but the the bone armor is so massive. Let's see if we can get it to proc here. There it is. Looks like 1306, and that's after getting hit. It was close to 1400, I think, absorb on the bone armor, plus a mana pool of 2500 and a life pool as backup for that final 10% of 781. The mercenary is an Act 4 light holding an infinity staff. The rest of the gear is for his own damage and survival. Shaft stop with a ruby, Harlequin Crest, Shaco with max life and a ruby, this cool cast rare belt with 100 life and 3 res, all res on the boots with some magic fine, and then he's using my 30 FCR Mage Fist so that he can hit his 125 cast rate breakpoint. He does pretty good magic damage, and the Holy Bolts will heal the Golem and me. So let's do a map. We're going to showcase a Westmarch. And the reason I'm choosing this one has area level and density, but the reason I think this map is a good one to showcase is, of course, maps without fire immunes are going to perform the best for the build, but one of the fallbacks of most energy shield builds, I think, is with a low life pool, when the succubus witches cast their blood curse, it drains life directly, and energy shield doesn't protect that. That damage doesn't go to mana, so that'll show, I think, the benefit of using the Act 4 mercenary versus the standard use case for this. I think would be an Act 2 with an infinity like polearm or spear. But part of the reason I like to use the Act 4 one, and because it's kind of the hot new thing this season, I wanted to check it out. So let's do the map. We'll go into another game so we can watch the clock as well. So here we go. So basic channeling skill. Takes a second to kind of get used to it and get in the groove at least. But everything just melts. You'll see the golem's life will go out periodically. You'll see me recasting him. I do pick up items along the way. Sorry if that playstyle is annoying for you. Cast Blaze whenever you remember to. And just cruise. One thing I didn't mention, but I did show that there's nothing in cold skills for this. That includes no points into shiver armor. If you've ever played a Skull Collector build with the cast on cast bone armor, you'll know that it overrides shiver armor from the Sorceress native skill. You can't have both active at once anyway, so just a saved skill point as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, I would normally use a call to arms staff that has the shiver armor on it as the source, but in this case, we just go traditional one-hand CTA and lidless. So yeah, Blaze expires every 10 seconds. Depends, just kind of personal preference, whether you want your main mobility to be teleport or in some cases running, I think is a little bit faster depending on the layout of the map. The Sanctuary aura you're seeing active from time to time is from the Act 4 Mercenary, which boosts his own magic damage. That's, I think, why the Light Merc is so powerful right now, since they got tweaked a little bit, as he naturally does that debuffing of his own damage type. So I don't know if I've been blood cursed yet by the witches, but it will happen eventually. I haven't. There it is right now, but it's not a huge deal. It'll wear off in a minute. In the meantime, anytime he's casting those holy bolts, if I'm in the middle of them, we're getting that life boost too. So this build has no life after kill on it. That would be another way to make it probably a little bit more comfortable. But I just went the full mana route, and I haven't had to drink a potion, despite having that curse active several times. Coming up on the boss, I think this is the best benefit of going Inferno rather than Combustion, is the bosses just melt. I usually cast a Firewall while they're standing still and then just blaze. Ring. Losing my mouse cursor here, lagging. So is it the ultimate most GG Sorceress build? I don't necessarily think so, but I'm really enjoying it. It's been something a little different. I think it's very comparable with the channeling playstyle to Arctic Blast, which has been really popular. I've also been running some of that and enjoy it. Top end Combustion probably is better than this when you've got the Ormus and everything, but I don't know. I just think Stone is an amazing armor, and to know that there's end game builds that can still use it and be really effective is cool. And it opens up slots to stack a bunch of magic fine. Another thing I've done with this build, I'll do it really quickly after this map, is PES running. Usually, historically, I've used Lightning builds to run like Chaos Sanctuary or Throne of Destruction, kind of in that old LOD mindset of you need to have Infinity and a Lightning build in order to clear LOD content. The other immunities are too much. That's not the case with Inferno, because it has 50 native Pierce on the build, minus 30%. Sorry, not 50%. 50% is Arctic Blast. 30% is Inferno. I apologize, but still, that 30 plus the 34 from Infinity effectively means any monster with less than 132. This is a 6-minute Westmarch. Any monster with less than 132 fire resistance, um, their immunities are going to be broken. So even an area that's very um, heavy with fire immune monsters like Chaos Sanctuary could be broken. So these Balrog monsters have fire immune, but when you cast the debuff from Inferno, it breaks them. The same is true with the Doom Knights that we'll see in a moment. Just melts. So it's every bit as fast as a lightning build for doing just kind of the seal pop, kill Diablo PES running. Where do these guys go? Where are you? There you go. See if we can get lucky with a PS. Maybe, maybe not. And then that will be it. So probably some room for improvement. You could use something like an Atma armor instead of stone if you wanted to, but I figure why bother. Anyway, that's all. Thanks.